My husband had 3 Crohn surgeries before age 30, and there's a conversation nobody had with us until we were already in crisis mode. So let me have it with you now, while you still have time to prepare. Hi, I'm Kate, and today we're talking about how to prepare for surgery when medications fail, and more importantly, how to support your body to recover faster and stay well afterward. Now this matters because surgery doesn't have to be the scary ending everyone treats it as. It can actually be the beginning of your best remission yet if you know how to prepare. Here's what nobody told us. My husband's first surgery was an emergency. He was hemorrhaging, his bowel had perforated, and we went from let's try one more medication to we need to operate tonight in about 6 hours. The second and third surgeries, those were planned. And the difference between going into surgery as an emergency versus going in prepared, physically strong, mentally ready with a recovery plan already in place was definitely night and day. After his third surgery, something shifted. He started preparing his body before things got critical. He built up his nutrition. He worked on his stress response. He went into that operating room as strong as he could be. And that was over 20 years ago. He hasn't needed surgery since. He actually hasn't had a flare since, and I've spent 2 decades as a natural therapist helping other people prepare for surgery the way I wished we'd known to do it the first time. So let's reframe this, because the way most people think about surgery is backwards. Most people see surgery as failure. Like, if you need surgery, the medication has failed, your body failed, you failed. And so they avoid the conversation until they're in so much pain or so malnourished that surgery becomes an emergency. But here's what I learned watching my husband and working with clients for 20 years. Surgery isn't failure. Surgery is a tool. Sometimes it's the exact right tool at the exact right time. And when you prepare for it, when you go in strong instead of depleted, when you have a recovery plan instead of just hoping for the best, surgery can give you the reset your body's been needing. The real issue isn't whether you might need surgery. The real issue is whether you're preparing for that possibility, even now, while you're stable enough to build strength, or whether you're waiting until you're in crisis and have no reserves left. Because, here's the truth your GI probably won't say out loud. If you failed 2 or more biologics, if you're dealing with strictures or fistulas, if you're in and out of flares every few months, surgery might be on your horizon. And that's not bad news. It's just information that you can use. So let's talk about how to prepare and how to recover, whether surgery is next month or just a possibility you're holding in the back of your mind. These are the things that make the difference. Build your protein stores now, not after surgery. Your body needs protein to heal surgical wounds. It needs protein to maintain muscle mass. It needs protein to keep your immune system functioning. But here's what happens in real life. You're flaring, food hurts, you're scared to eat, and your protein intake drops to almost nothing. Then you have surgery, and your body's trying to heal a major wound with no reserves. My husband learned this the hard way. Before his first surgery, he'd lost so much weight he had almost no muscle left. His recovery was slow, painful, and complicated. Before his third surgery, we spent 8 weeks building him up. Protein smoothies, bone broth, easily digestible proteins like fish and egg. We weren't trying to gain weight. We were trying to give his body the raw materials it would need to heal. His recovery time was half what it had been before. I'll say that again, half. If surgery is even a remote possibility for you, start now. Aim for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of your body weight. So if you're 65 kilos, that's 50 to 65 grams a day. Use smoothies if solid food is hard. Use bone broth if you're in a flare. Just get it into you. Address the mental preparation nobody talks about. Surgery is scary. Losing part of your bowel is scary. Waking up with a stoma is scary. And if nobody acknowledges that fear, it just sits in your body and makes everything harder. Before my husband's third surgery, we did something different. We talked about it. We talked about what he was afraid of, the pain, the recovery, the possibility it wouldn't work. We talked about what he was hoping for. We made a plan for the first week, the first month, the first year. And here's what I see as a natural therapist. The people who prepare mentally, well, they recover faster. Not because positive thinking heals surgical wounds, but because they're not using all their energy fighting panic. So if surgery is coming, find someone to talk, a counsellor, a support group, another person who's been through it. Don't try to be brave and silent. Let yourself be scared and then make a plan anyway. Optimize your micronutrient status before surgery. This is where natural therapies support really shine. Your surgeon is focused on the technical success of the operation. Your GI is managing your medications, but often nobody's checking whether you're actually nutritionally ready to heal. Iron, zinc, vitamin D, vitamin A, vitamin C. These aren't optional for wound healing. They're essential. And if you've been flaring or on steroids or dealing with malabsorption, you're probably deficient in at least some of them. We test. We supplement strategically. We get those levels up before surgery, so your body has what it needs when it needs it most. After my husband's third surgery, his surgical team actually commented on how first his incision healed. That wasn't luck. That was preparation. Plan your post-surgery nutrition like your recovery depends on it, because it does. The first few weeks after bowel surgery, your digestion is different. You might have a shorter bowel. You might have inflammation at the surgical site. You might have a temporary stoma. And what you eat matters enormously. Here's what worked for my husband and what I recommend to other clients. Start with liquids and very soft food. Bone broth, smoothies, well-cooked white rice, steamed fish, nothing raw, nothing high fiber, nothing that's going to challenge your healing bowel. Then you add foods back slowly, one at a time, paying attention to how your body responds. This is not the time to try to eat perfectly. This is the time to eat for healing. And if you're working with a natural therapist, this is where we earn our keep, helping you navigate that transition from post-surgical eating back to a more varied diet without triggering a flare. And finally, you need to support your body's stress response through recovery. Surgery is a massive stressor. Your body goes into crisis mode. Your cortisol spikes, your sleep gets disrupted, your nervous system is on high alert. And if you don't actively support your body to downregulate after surgery, you can end up in a chronic stress state that slows healing and increases inflammation. This is where gentle practices make a real difference. Deep breathing, short walks as soon as you're cleared to move, magnesium supplementation if appropriate, and good sleep hygiene. My husband used to think this stuff was just fluff. Then he tried it during his third recovery and realized how much easier everything felt when his nervous system wasn't stuck in fight or flight. Also, have the conversation with your GI now, not when you're in crisis. If you failed multiple medications, if you have strictures or fistulas, if you're flaring frequently, ask your gastro direct, is surgery something we should be talking about? You're not asking them to schedule it tomorrow. You're asking them to be honest with you about the trajectory that you're on. Because if surgery is likely in the next year or two, that changes how you prepare. It changes your nutrition strategy. It changes your supplement plan. It changes everything. And here's what I've learned. The GIs who are willing to have that conversation early on are the ones who get the best outcomes because their patients come to surgery strong instead of depleted. My husband's been flare-free for 20 years. He's active, he eats normally, he lives a full life. And when people ask him about his surgeries, he doesn't talk about them like trauma. He talks about them like the turning point that gave him his life back. And that's what I want for you. Not surgery for surgery's sake, but the knowledge that if surgery becomes the right choice, you can walk into it prepared and walk out of it strong. You can build your body up now. You can address the nutritional gap. You can prepare mentally and practically. You can have the conversation with your medical team while you still have options. And whether you end up needing surgery or not, you'll be stronger for having prepared. That's not wasted effort. That's you taking your power back. Now, if this helped, share it with someone who needs to hear it, especially if they're struggling with medication and no one's talking to them about what comes next. And if you want support preparing for surgery or recovering from it, that's exactly what we do in my one-on-one natural therapy practice and in the Crohn's Method community. You don't have to figure this out alone. I'll see you in the next video and have a beautiful day.